Hi, this is Chris of the Adventure People. I'm here with
Toby.
Sherpa Toby, as he's known. Today we're having a quick chat about some of the treks in Peru, some of the Inca Trail treks. Toby has travelled extensively around South America and Central America and also completed lots of these treks. I haven't, I'm a novice, so I'm going to be asking Toby about every trek, and then we'll have a think about what might be best for me and for you. If you've got any comments or questions, type below. Oh, and please subscribe as well. Right, how should we start? I've got a map. Here's my map of the area, which has got various treks. Because it's quite a big area, isn't it?
Yeah, massive.
I didn't realise. Should we start with the classic?
Yep.
So the Inca Trail, how long is it?
It is 26 miles.
Yeah, it is 26 miles. It is 26. It's the length of a marathon.
Yeah.
But it's over 3 days, and then the fourth day is at Macchu Pichu.
Yeah, so it's not too bad if you spread out over that. It's just a decent walk.
At altitude.
Yes, that's the hardest part, the altitude.
And it's just over 4,000 metres, is that right?
At the highest point, yeah, Dead Woman's Pass.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, 4,000 metres, just above it.
I always find it interesting that Macchu Picchu isn't the highest point. You go quite a bit higher.
Yeah, it's a good
on the trail.
It's a good point actually. So you go all the way up, and then it's kind of the middle. Get an amazing view, and then you can head down towards Macchu Picchu.
Yeah. And then how are you hiking equal distances every day, or does it differ?
Pretty much. I mean, you
Okay.
don't really notice that one day is perhaps tougher than the next.
Right.
It seems like every day is kind of the same.
Do you stop for quite frequent breaks? How does that work?
Yeah, whenever you want, really. I mean, you'll be in a group of maybe 10, 15 people.
Yeah.
And
Do you all trek together?
yeah, you can do some. I mean, it all depends on the dynamics of the group. Sometimes you'll pair with someone who you feel most comfortable with, so you can stay at the back. Or if you want to head on, you'll have normally 2 guides, so you can just push on forward at your own pace.
I know it's a silly question, but because I've never been, so I don't know how busy it is, and I've heard like parts of the year it's busy, sometimes it's not. Could you get lost? Could you take a wrong turn? No,
it's all pretty standard. You just follow the trek. There's always people there, so you can always see people. It's very rare that you'll be stuck and there'll be nobody around you.
Yeah, okay.
And if you are, you can probably just stop for 5 minutes and then you'll see someone coming over.
And then so it's quite busy in that respect. I mean, you're not in the middle of nowhere where no one is going to come around the corner. You can just stay put and someone will find you.
Yeah, normally you'll have a guide at the front and a guide at the back. So yeah, you'll always have someone.
And fitness levels, what do you think? You don't need to be super fit to do it?
No, not at all. It helps, obviously. It always helps to be as fit as you can.
Yeah.
But as long as you can walk a distance, as long as you can walk a distance. So if you can go out, just in the UK or wherever you live, and do 10 miles.
10 miles is quite a lot. I thought you were going to say 10 minutes.
No, if you can just walk for extensive periods, you'll be fine.
Okay, so just practice walking.
Yeah.
That's kind of it. Okay, so is there anything more we need to know about the Inca Trail? That's the classic iconic trek, isn't it? Which everyone, rightly, including me, I'd like to go and trek the Inca Trail. Okay, so pros and cons of the Inca Trail. I'll say some pros that I think. It's iconic. So it's one of those things you really kind of want to do in your lifetime. At least I do. So that's 1. 2, it's actually not so expensive. It's quite good value, it seems. So that's good as well.
Yep.
That's it. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it's the iconic one, but I'd say not so much cons, but I mean, it's important to remember that there wasn't just one Inca Trail. The Incas didn't use their own.
Of course, yeah.
The Inca Empire was huge, and they'd have trails all over the place to get to.
Imagine if they did just have one path. Right.
So they had lots of journeys, and it's important to know that this is the classic one.
Yeah, but all the others have got ruins and things. They were routes, like Roman roads, the equivalent for Incas. Same thing. Yeah, that is a good point. The only con I can think of with Inca Trail is this whole permit thing.
Yes.
which is required because it's so popular. But if you don't book in advance, you could miss out. It's tricky.
Yeah, well, I mean, May is fully booked now. There's, I think, 3 days left at the beginning of May and 1 day on the last day of May.
This is May 2019, so that is what we're doing. So it's 5 to 6 months ahead.
Yep.
May's sold out.
Fully booked.
Yeah. So you just got to book in advance. So that for me, is it a con? It's maybe not a con, but it's something to be aware of. That if you want to go trekking on the Inca Trail, then you've got to plan quite a bit in advance.
Yeah.
It's difficult to do spontaneously.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Do you think the fact that the Inca Trail is so popular that there are quite a few people on it, at some points are busier than others, some points of the year, do you think that's a con?
If it depends on the person. Some people might find it more comfortable to be on a trail where there are lots of people, so there's a lot of comfort. We're all doing this, lots of people around there to help me. But it's also important to know that it's not busy all the year. It's only busy if you go in the peak times in the summer. If you go, say in January or November, somewhere like that, it's not going to be very busy.
Okay, so it can still be quite wild, I suppose, in that respect. Okay. Let's talk about one of the alternatives, the Salkantay Trek. One of our team members, Ollie, has completed this trek. When I found out about it, I was quite shocked. It's quite a long trek.
45 miles, is it? Something like that?
45 miles. In old money, or new money, I don't know which one's which, 72 kilometres, 71, 72 kilometres. It's quite a long way. And I think the length can be, you can do it in 4 days, which is going some, I think, because of the terrain. Or you can do it like up to 8 days and take your time. What do you think?
It's up to the person, I guess. I think I'd prefer to. I enjoy the actual trekking, so I enjoy taking my time on a trek and taking in everything. So I like to see the scenery. I like to stop and have a break, have a sit down. So for me, I'd prefer to do the 8 days.
Do you know what? I'm the opposite. I think I'd like, if I'm on a trek, I tend to think of I've got to get to this place by this time. So then I kind of go. So I lose doing that. Means I'll power through, but I don't take my time to look around. Maybe I should do.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, because each day has a set point, so there's a campsite. When you get to that campsite, that's you kind of done. You get to relax and enjoy the views there. But I think if you've got, say, 6 hours to get there, take the 6 hours for me, because you get to really enjoy what you're doing. The purpose of why you're doing it is the trek.
Are there any highlights on the, bigger highlights on the Salkantay Trek? Because you can end at Macchu Pichu, can't you? So that's good. But I think on the way, it's also quite high. It's over 4,500 metres, 4,600, something like that. So I think that is also higher, or just higher than the Inca Trail goes. So it must be that. Therefore, it must be quite tough, I think. Are there any highlights on the way? Do you know?
I mean, there are Inca ruins along the way. So I don't know what ruins. But there's always ruins along the way, so things to see.
And the guide will know, I suppose.
Yeah. So he or she will be able to point out what it was, what it used to be, and you'll get a feel for it.
Yeah. Okay. One highlight is the glacial lake. I can't pronounce it.
Well, I think I can, but I might be wrong. So correct me if I'm wrong. Oimantai.
I
think.
And this is the beautiful glacial lake high in the Andes.
Gorgeous. I haven't seen it myself, but I've seen the photos.
This is video footage and photos of things, and it looks spectacular. So that goes onto the pro list for me. Just thought of another pro. It's a pro. So rather than camping, which is the default on the Inca Trail and some of the other treks actually, you stay in lodges. Or you can stay in lodges on the Salkantay Trek. Well, that's nice.
Yeah, a bit more comfort.
It gets chilly at night time in the Andes, doesn't it? I mean, it goes, in all seriousness, the Andes in winter, between May and September, and it gets chilly at night time. Below zero, so a lodge is welcomed. Yeah, okay. I didn't mention any cons, by the way, about Salkantay Trek. Do you want to know my cons?
Go on.
There aren't any. Next on the list, we're going to talk about a trek I know literally nothing about, including how to pronounce it. Linda, our director, sat behind the camera, pronounces it as Choquequirao. But Choquequirao, how do you say it?
I think it's Choquequirao.
Choquequirao. Tell us about it. I don't know anything about it. I'm sorry to say, I feel like I should, but I don't.
It's kind of similar to the Salkantay.
Right.
So similar distance and similar altitude. So I believe it's about 40 miles.
Okay, it's quite a distance then.
Yeah, it's not too far off Salkantay, and it's actually higher. I think it's about 4,600 meters.
So it's one of the more challenging.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Okay.
But one of the great things about this one is you get two big ruins. So you get Macchu Pichu, and then you also get to trek to Choquequirao, which is another Inca ruin.
Like Machu Picchu.
Like Machu Picchu.
That's good. So you get 2 for 1.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's a big pro.
Yeah. So it makes it worth the distance and the altitude, I think.
Okay. So I think what we might need to do on Choquequirao is, I think we should make a separate video.
Yep.
All about Choquequirao, because I don't know much about it. I feel like I should know more about it, and it's definitely one of the lesser known treks. So maybe we should do Choquequirao in depth in the not too distant future.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Any cons for Choquequirao?
I wouldn't say cons. Again, it's personal preference. It's high and it's long. So if you want something challenging, it's a pro. If you're looking for not something challenging, that'd be a con, and I'd stick to your Inca Trail. Okay.
Pros are 2 major Inca sites. No permits, I guess.
No permits.
No permits. Year round? I'm guessing it is, because Salkantay's year round as well. Okay. All right. So that's good. All right. So we'll cover off Choquequirao. Is that right?
Yep.
Great. In another video. Okay. Let's talk about the Lares Trek. This one I think might be my favourite one.
Why is that?
Because it is definitely wild. Because it's nowhere near Macchu Pichu, it should be said. When you finish the trek, you don't end up at Macchu Pichu.
Okay.
You're quite some distance away. So, and it's on one of the old Inca routes, obviously, still. So there are ruins, but it's wilder. It's year round. There's no permits. It's also quite high. So it's above that 4,500 meter, like Salkantay is as well. But also it's quite short. So it's only 20 miles, or just over 20 miles anyway. So it's even shorter than the Inca Trail. But I think it's a tougher trek. We've had some customers actually feed back to us on this trek, and they'd done both, and they found it tougher than the Inca Trail because of the terrain, that the paths are less worn. Do you know what I mean? It's just generally a bit wilder.
The altitude, how high is it in the Lares Trek?
So 4,600 and something meters, but over 4,600.
So pretty high.
Yeah, that's the highest point. So it's pretty high. And you trek down to one of the main towns, and I can never pronounce it. It's on my map here. I've still got my map. Let's give this a go. God. Ollantaytambo.
Sounds about right.
Yeah. So you from there at the end of the Lares Trek, you either hop on a bus or a train and hop over to Aguas Calientes.
Yep.
And then the next morning, you hop on a bus or again a train and go up to Macchu Pichu for a tour. So you still get to see Macchu Pichu, but you don't trek to Macchu Pichu like some of the other treks. It's separate. I think that's one of the reasons I like it. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love the Macchu Pichu treks, but the idea of doing a trek which is completely separate appeals to me.
Fair enough.
I think though, to be honest with you, as we know, I haven't done any of these treks. I think I'd like to hike the Inca Trek first. By the way, what's the difference between hiking, trekking and walking? Do you know? That's a face.
No, not at all.
I don't know either. But they're all called treks and not hikes. I don't know why. Anyway, another video. But I'd prefer to hike the Inca Trek. It's weird. Hike the Inca Trail, hike the Inca Trek, and then of the other available treks, I think the Lares Trek would be next on my list if I was going to do it. Have you done it?
Nope.
Would you do it?
Yeah, I'd love to do it.
Okay. So the Jungle Trek, and an alternative to the normal treks, would you say?
Yeah, it's the one that I'd probably most like to go on, actually, the jungle trek.
Really?
Yeah, it's multi-activity, so
Yeah.
you don't just hike, you will be ziplining, you'll be rafting, cycling as well. So
Cycling, but we're not with my panniers
No.
and my indicators, my mountain biking.
mountain biking, yeah.
Yeah. So that sounds great.
Yeah.
It's a great alternative to the normal trek, I suppose, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, trekking's fine, but this sounds more fun.
Yeah, it's a bit more interesting for me, and the thought of a jungle rather than just than trekking through the hills.
There's more wildlife in the jungle.
Yeah.
Does that appeal?
Yeah.
That's a pro.
Yeah, definitely. There's always something around the corner.
Yeah. We'll send you there. Right. So, there's a few choices of different treks and multi-activity. I'm just wondering, my glasses are falling off. I'm just wondering which trek is suitable for who. So, if I'm going to Peru, what would you recommend for me? Bearing in mind I haven't done any of these treks yet.
Probably the classic Inca Trail.
Go for the classic.
Yeah.
I think that's what I choose.
Yeah.
Regardless of, I think that's what I choose regardless, because it's so iconic.
Yeah. And it's exactly what you want. I mean, it's the famous one. You end up at Macchu Picchu. You
Yeah.
get to walk through the Sun Gate. So I'd recommend that if perhaps
Yeah.
you've done other treks before and you just wanted to see Macchu Picchu and get the
Yeah.
traditional experience.
What if you wanted something a bit more challenging?
Yeah, so if you're serious about trekking, you want to really challenge yourself, Salkantay or Choquequirao, just because of the distance and the altitude, I think it'd be,
Yeah, okay. Well, I suppose I'm wondering where the Lares Trek fits in. Because if you want something different, I guess if you want something different, which is a mix of things to do, that's going to be the Jungle Trek.
Yep.
Which is trekking, mountain biking, zip lining, etc. So that's kind of an easy one to categorise, I suppose. If you're going to, I hate categories, but you know what I mean. But where does the Lares Trek fit? Because that one still appeals to me, and I think because the Lares Trek, I suppose it is quite challenging because of the altitude, but from a distance point of view, it's the shortest, and it's away from Machu Picchu.
Yeah, I guess if you want a lot of the trek to yourself, if you don't want the crowd.
Yes, yeah.
So if you want to be off the beaten track,
Yeah.
something a bit more rugged and wild, do the Lares Trek.
And there's nothing stopping anyone like doing some of these back to back. So you could book the Lares Trek and then straight afterwards go on to the, say, classic Inca Trail.
Yeah.
There's no problem. Or the jungle and Choquequirao.
Yeah.
God damn it. Choquequirao, and then but you can tag them all together.
Yeah, because the Lares Trek will end up at Aguas Calientes, and that's where you start a lot of the treks from. So
Yeah.
Inca Trail, so.
Yeah. Okay. Great. Finally, which ones have you done?
Just the Inca Trail.
Just the Inca Trail.
Yep.
Did you enjoy it?
Loved it.
What was the kind of one main highlight, would you say?
For me, the highlight was just that it ended up in Machu Picchu.
Yeah. Did you walk to this? It's the Sun Gate is
Yeah.
the main entrance.
Yeah, I mean that's the only reason I did it really. I mean,
Really?
Yeah, because I'd done other treks and but I just wanted to see Machu Picchu.
Right. And did it live up to expectations?
Yeah.
It did.
Yeah, one of the best moments of my life, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah, that moment when you walk in and you just first see how big it is and how amazing it was. Like considering it was built so long ago.
Then pictures don't really, I suppose, from what you're saying, I'm getting pictures don't do it justice. So you can see pictures. Of course, you can see pictures of Machu Picchu. But it's not going to give you the scale.
Yeah, exactly. I think one of the best parts of it is just walking in and out of the houses because you're free to roam.
You can walk in there. I didn't know that.
Yeah, you're completely free to roam. There's alpacas there, just free, and you can just walk in and out of the houses, and it's so amazing just to stand there in a house on your own, just be able to like, run your fingers across the walls and just imagine like this was a whole civilization.
It's astonishing, isn't it? When you think it's absolutely astonishing. Okay, and if you were to go back to Peru, if we were to send you back, what do you think would your choice be if you were able to do another trek?
I'd say the jungle trek.
The jungle one.
Yeah, just a bit different. I like the idea of zip lining and rafting along the way.
Okay.
So yeah, definitely that one.
Right, I'll get that planned in. Okay, so If you've got any comments, please note below. If anyone's been on any of these treks, we'd love to hear about it. You can get in touch with us. Our contact details will be below. Please subscribe. Please subscribe. Always subscribe. And we will see you very soon. Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.